As a Python developer, if you are still using os.path to handle your files and folders, you are making life harder for you as a developer. So then we are going to dive deep into a Pathlib in just 10 minutes to explore how Pathlib works. So now in the old ways now, using import os and using os or path to manage our files. If you want to check if a folder, if you want to join two paths together, we have to do it in a clumsy way. And let me just show you how that is. So I can just decide to say file name right here now. And I'm saying file name is equals to data.txt right here. And now if I want to join this folder together, if this file name together with a folder, I can just decide to say folder right here is equals to, and let's just say this folder is called config right here, which stands for configuration. So if I want to now print out full path right here, I might just decide to say something like right here, and I'll be saying os.path.join. This is already getting too hard for me. Developers, we are lazy. We don't like to type long lines of code, but this is already getting too long, and I have to enter folder right here. Then again, I have to put in file name. If we are still doing your coding like this, this is stress. This is a lot of stress for me. I'm a pretty much lazy programmer in that sense, and this is quite stressful. You don't want it to be in this way, so I'll just go ahead and say print full path here. We don't want it this way at all. You don't want your program to be this way. So now you're saying that this is what you're getting, but this is the magic of using Pathlib, and this is where Pathlib comes in to just handle it with just a single slash. You can join your path together using Pathlib. So right here, I'm just going to go ahead and say right here from Pathlib right here. From Pathlib, you can just go ahead and say import. From Pathlib now, okay, import path itself. So from Pathlib, import path. So we have that quite all right there. So now instead of saying folder is equals to config right here, we can just say, okay, folder right here is equals to, let's run this with the path parameter, path, right, config. And we still have our file name the same thing, and we can just go ahead and say the full path now. Instead of going on with these full lines of code, I can just decide to say folder then with just a slash, and we have this quite working now, quite all right. So let's run this and see. So now you can see this is still giving me this same code. I don't have to go through the steps of saying os or path.join. So that is all Pathlib work for. Another thing that Pathlib provided is to use in an object-oriented way. You can access your path itself, so you can easily check. So let's just say this is the path now. I can easily print out if this path exists and so many other functions, just like how I do my object-oriented programming by just using the dot operator. I just decide to say dot exist right here, and it's going to tell me whether it exists or not. If it exists, I want to print out the name right there, and it's going to decide, okay, it's going to tell me his name, and I want to just print out parent also, right? Can say that these are more features that was provided right here. So it does not exist. This is false. This is the file name that we give to it in the file path itself, and this is the parent folder itself. And this is the beauty that Pathlib provided. And one more thing before we end this 10-minute section of deep dive. Now, if you want to create a new folder, I can just set to say data folder right there, and I'm just going to say this to path data itself right there, just like that. And I can decide to say data folder dot make directory itself, and I can decide to say exist true. So I can just go ahead and run this again, and now if I check my folder right here, I have this data folder because this directory has been made for me. So these are the more features that Pathlib provided. So don't forget to use Pathlib, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Code You Drew. See you in the next video. Bye bye.